Fusion fam, what's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We're at BotCon again with the clean sweep.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, so we have a very special guest with us. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hey there, I am Kevin D Thelwell. I'm a voice actor and assistant director over at Crunchyroll. Worked on a lot of animes, video games, all the like. I've been in One Piece, Haikyuu, Blue Lock, directed on a lot of other shows like Blue Lock, and there's a big list of things I can go on for hours on that. But yeah, I like having fun with anime.
Sound like a man who makes money.
Yep. Making it rain, which Texas doesn't need any help right now. And if you guys don't know who we are, I'm Chad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And together, this podcast, this tag team, this collective, we are Fusion High.
Yeah, we know that.
So, Kevin, thank you so much for doing this with us. We really appreciate it. I know you're probably ready to get out of here.
Make that drive.
Yeah, but so if you could just tell us a bit about yourself and like what led you into voice acting.
Ooh, what led me into voice acting? Well, I just kind of accidentally got a passion for it. I did music all throughout high school, middle school, college, and whatnot, and one day decided, man, professional music kind of sucks. I don't like people around there, and they're stuck up, so let me find something else to do. I was having fun on the sides, doing like little hobby projects, online videos, YouTube here and there, and one day this YouTuber that I really liked, he ended up writing a book that was going to be animated. And he had a little competition in his community saying, hey, let's have some open auditions for some parts. So I'm like, yeah, I got a mic for my own little hobby projects. So I applied to that, auditioned, ended up getting a contract with that. And then when the actual project started getting announced, I saw the people in the project were actually real professional actors, like from California and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, these are names that from people I know of and have seen their shows and games and whatnot. So like, man, maybe I have some potential in this kind of industry. So I decided to get some advice from people, take some classes, and after doing a lot from Florida, where I grew up in Miami, I decided to move to Texas. And I kind of just laser focused because I decided, hey, I could go to like Texas or California, and I don't got money like that, so I went to Texas. And it was a fun little time trying to convince my family to let me drop out of college and move from Florida to Texas. And my dad's like, you want to go to Texas? With your skin tone, what you doing there? And I'm like,
oh, wow.
I'm like, it's fine, I'll be okay, it's good. And after a lot of convincing, he let me move over here, and I laser focused, took more classes, did what I could, and eventually got called into Funimation, where I started doing my first little anime projects. And the first thing I ever worked on was Ace Attorney Season 2, and I was really
nice.
Yeah, did extras all throughout that. I was really good. And my favorite things about that was just like getting to be like one of the Power Rangers and they're on like somebody's TV in that episode, and I was so hyped because I love Power Rangers so much.
Oh yeah, that's James right there.
Hey, just tell your dad, man, you're not going to Viter nor Jasper. You be all right.
Yeah, you're definitely
You be all right. Don't stop at no Viter now.
Yeah. Just keep dropping right on through.
Yeah, man. Go to Orange, okay? Go to Orange, man. There's a Flying J across the street from one another. I'm a truck driver, so I know that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but don't stop Viter. You in trouble. Oh man, so you said you was in that with music, or you was in music in high school, so I'm assuming you played a music instrument back in high school?
Yeah, I played a bunch of brass, trumpet, trombone, euphonium / baritone,
Oh, snap.
all that stuff.
You a boner like that guy.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Heck yeah, dude. This jazz band, classical, marching pep band, all that stuff. Also like jazz, but you know what I mean.
And you said that, and you was like, nah.
Yeah.
This ain't for me.
When I got into college, man, I'm like, dang, these people and like the actual, like trying to get into the real professional setting for things just wasn't for me. The vibes, the people, just you be in class, you're like, yeah, cool. it's not good enough. I need you on this 24/7 every day. Like, no, I can't. It just wasn't fun anymore.
Oh wow, dang.
Yeah.
Man,
it's just stuck up. It was stuck up. It wasn't for me. So
I feel on that.
Yeah,
I dropped out.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because this field, the voice actor field, based off all the voice actors that we've interacted with and talked to and interviewed, it's nothing like that. Everybody, including yourself, is so warm, so inviting. It's such a good environment. So how is it when you're working, like, let's just say, for instance, Blue Lock. We interviewed a couple of Blue Lock guys yesterday. What is that atmosphere like?
Like the atmosphere.
As far as like voice recording and hanging out and
like you know, with ADR work for anime, we don't really normally interact with other actors. Like you see, we at this con, I've got like Drew and Matthew here. Like I think this is probably the most I've ever spent with Matthew ever. So like, yeah, we don't normally interact with each other because we just go into a booth with a microphone by ourselves. It's just us, the director on the other side of the booth, and our engineer who's taking care of all the technicals. Okay. So yeah, we don't have to interact with the actors, you know, generally ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's not much outside of like, you know, any cast engagement parties or maybe have or just anything like that. But we're just working on that. Like even directing on like some of Blue Lock, I directed a lot of the actors in that too on my days, you know, on the booth for that one, and I don't think I ever directed Drew or Matt on that one, so it's just completely separate.
Okay. How did you actually start working on Blue Lock?
Let me see here. So me personally, like, I have a very strong mental bias toward anything blue in the title. It's my favorite color. So I heard that title, I'm like, I'm probably gonna like this. Saw some trailers, I'm like, I'm probably really gonna like this.
That's awesome, man.
So I was hyping it up before. I'm not seeing any of the manga, not seeing any of this. I just, from the vibe alone, I'm like, this is gonna be my jam. So eventually, the first episode came out. I watched it Saturday morning, and I'm like, finish it. I'm like, I love this show. This is gonna be my favorite sports anime, hands down. So then I had already had a relationship with the director, Jonathan Rick, at the time, and I emailed him like, hey, just letting you know, I would really love to be in the show. If you've already, you know, cast it or whatever, that's totally fine. This is like normally most shows don't start recording until like after the Japanese comes out, so I had no idea like whether or not they started recording or not. So I just asked, hey, totally want to be in this show. If you already cast it, whatever. If you have any characters down the line that it might be a fit for, totally love to audition for them, great. Even if I can't, you know, act in the show. If you need any help, any way, shape, or form, you know, I would love to help you direct or do anything, you know, I want to touch the show in some way. And he replied, he's like, you know, Bet, yeah, I've already figured out the main cast of the show right now, but could totally, you know, use some help with directing on that. And that's literally all she wrote. I did some training, did some other stuff, and got set up as eventually helping out with some episodes for the show. And then eventually I got to be in the show too, because that was a wild time, because I was watching it weekly. And when my character Julian came up in the show, he's the Mbappe stand-in on that. I saw him come in on the Japanese, and I'm like, dang, that character is exactly my voice range and everything. And,
he's kind of perfect for me.
Yeah, he's kind of perfect, but then I'm like, dang, they got him French. I'm like, I'm not sure if I feel super duper confident about me going in and trying to do French. I'm like, oh, maybe there's another character comes out later. I'm not going to think about that too much. And then like the same day that episode came out, I was over hanging out with some of the other actors who coincidentally were in Blue Lock, which is Matt Shipman, who plays Reen in Blue Lock, and Bryson Bogus, who plays Nagi in Blue Lock. And Matt was like, hey, I saw the new episode, like, that guy, you know, Loki, he'd be perfect for you. You can nail that out of the park. And I'm like, I don't know. And then like a week or two passed, and I was out hanging out with some other friends watching Cocaine Bear. And I guess, love that movie, so good.
It had no right to be that good.
It was stupid fun. I love it.
Watch it now.
Okay. It's great. It's great.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're just chilling after the movie, eating ice cream, and I get a text. And the text just like, hey, how good's your French? And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, and coincidentally, just like a month or two before that, I ended up getting cast in a video game, Jagged Alliance 3, and that game I ended up playing a whole lot of characters, like extras and whatnot, on top of aside of my own character, who had French West African accents, because for that when that game takes place. So I actually learned how to do a French West African accent. So at the time, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'm not sure, but I'll do my best on it. I'm not super confident with French and whatnot, but I got the audition for it. I did some research. I looked up Mbappe, who the character is based off of, and I listened to some of his interviews, and I'm like, oh, his accent's not actually super French or super stereotypical anyway to French, and did more research on him. I was like, oh, his family is actually from like North or Western Africa and all that, so his accent is actually like a lighter version of French mixed in with that. So I had already learned that kind of accent anyway from the game, so I just did that for my audition, and the director asked me, he's like, hey, you did something different than I would expect you to do. What inspired that? And I told him, like, hey, I researched the guy this character is based off of, and his accent isn't the stereotype. So I did closer to an African-French mixture. And he's like, oh, I buy that. Go for it. And then he cast me as the character.
Dang. I'm surprised you didn't from like, Sacre bleu! Oh,
Yeah.
All that dude from Mars.
Yeah.
So, Chad's all that you from Mars.
Hey, that's all I got. That's all I got.
How did you get into directing and everything like that?
So directing was more random. So during the pandemic, I happened to live in a house that had 3 other actors in it, and we had my roommate right before COVID hit. My roommate actually built a personal booth in his room out of wood that just coincidentally was big enough to fit 4 people because he likes just having room for himself. But it fit 4 people. So during the pandemic, when anime started recording remotely, we ended up being one of the first houses that had 4 actors in it that could safely record together for like extras and walla stuff like that from backgrounds of shows. So we were basically doing the background work for almost every dub that Crunchyroll / Funimation was putting out for a couple years.
Dang.
And we ended up getting relationships with a lot of directors, a lot of different studios too, that did lots of different kinds of dubs that way. And one of those directors or producers of a studio hit us up one time, and they're like, hey, how would you feel about sitting down and watching me direct some shows and kind of, just learning some of the ropes, just shadow me for a bit?
Wow.
And me and my roommate were at the time, we're like, yeah, we'd love to do that. So we did that, watched for like, I don't know, I say we watched for like 40 hours or something like that, like 8-hour shifts a day, just sitting there watching them from home, like direct people. And we're like, okay, we learned a lot from that, because seeing really good actors, seeing new actors, seeing how you approach that was just a really eye-opening experience.
Okay.
And we did that. We did it a few times, and then we stopped doing that. And like 2 months passed, and me and roommate were talking. We're like, we kind of want to do that more. We learned a lot. I feel like we can still grow more as actors by learning more.
Right.
And then we emailed that director, and we're like, hey, can we continue doing that? It's been a while. It's been a few weeks or a couple months since we did that. Yeah. And just no response. We're like, oh, okay, I guess they're busy or something. I don't know. And then like a few weeks later, we get an email back, an unrelated email saying, hey, so I got this show now. You want to direct it for me? And we're like, oh. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's not what I was asking before, but sure. So me and my roommate ended up co-directing that show. Unfortunately, that show ended up getting canceled, even though we finished the whole dub. It didn't actually come out because of just logistic stuff with clients and whatnot. But we ended up getting a whole lot of experience doing that, because we did a whole, I think, 12, 13 episode show from start to finish, mostly just me and him directing people from like all over, like Crunchyroll, like Texas, LA, back and forth. And we learned a lot from directing. So after a while, after that show like got canceled and finished, we thought, hey, I want to do more assistant directing. So then I hit up Crunchyroll and be like, hey, I've directed so many hours on blah, blah, blah. You can even check, the records of unreleased stuff. I've worked on it. And hey, can I do more directing with you guys? Like just direct with the company instead of outsource to a different studio. And they're like, hey, yeah, we'll put you through our version of training, because, what we do might not be the same as the other studios we might subcontract to. And I did a whole lot of training, and eventually, worked on Blue Lock and worked on a whole lot of other shows. Like I got a list of shows that I've helped direct.
Jeez,
yeah,
a list.
I know, like recently, some of the most I have worked on is probably like in a Classroom of the Elite season 3. I did most of the recording for like episodes 2 through 4.
Okay.
I believe so. Like a lot of that's me, but I've helped on like Gundam: The Witch of Mercury. I've helped a little bit of help on Free Ren recently.
Wow. That's so good. So good.
So many shows. Like I did a lot of directing on the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You.
Oh my god!
And it was funny.
Oh, that's the title.
That's literally the title. Yeah.
Typical anime title.
Yes, 5 reallys, and the last one is in all caps. Really love you. That's the full title, and that was a really funny season because I did that show at the same time as I was recording the lead of Girlfriend season 2.
Okay.
So I was recording. Some days I'll be in the booth recording ridiculous things in Girlfriend, and then walking over 2 doors down and directing 100 Girlfriends. So it was. It was.
This guy's harem is crazy.
Yeah, but that harem. Oh man, golly.
Oh no, you should have seen the comments because Girlfriend was season 1 was my first time ever being the lead of a show, and then like the week I was finishing that show, they announced that there was going to be a season 2, and then I got an email from Crunchyroll saying, "Hey, we want to cast you as this guy in a show called Beast Tamer. His name is Rain Shroud." And I'm like, "Okay, let me Google this guy. Rain Shroud, Beast Tamer. Rain Shroud. He is Beast Tamer of Beast Tamer." I'm like, "Oh, he's the main character. Oh shoot!" So
Dang.
I booked that.
Yeah.
Like I recorded that like the week I was finishing Girlfriend, and as I was finishing Beast Tamer, I got auditions for a show called The Ice Blade Sorcerer Shall Rule the World, and I'm like, man, so this guy is just like he's a wizard. He fights with swords, but he makes swords of ice. But that's really cool. It reminds me of Fate. I love Fate. I really want to book this.
Yeah.
And I told one of my friends at the time as I was auditioning, I'm like, man, if I book John Iceblade, I'm gonna be so happy about this. And I got John Iceblade, but his name's Ray White. But I joke about it, saying this is John Iceblade. He's the Iceblade Sorcerer, John Iceblade. And I auditioned for that and ended up booking that part too while doing Beast Tamer. So when I a week after I finished Beast Tamer, I started recording that show. So it was like 3 shows in a row that I was doing the main character, and all 3 of them are harem shows too.
You know I like to deal with people with monikers, right?
Oh, yeah,
You're James Brown, a voice actor. And the hardest working man in voice acting.
Man, this is crazy.
Yo,
I got
When
real
do you
lucky.
sleep? Do you sleep?
Yeah.
Ooh, sleeping. I'm gonna do that here. Yeah, so some days working on all 3 of those shows, I'll just be like recording all day in one booth, and then going to another one. Like especially like Iceblade. Oh, Iceblade was crazy days sometimes because I don't only record at night, so I have to like do things like day job or directing during the day, and then run back to the studio to record at night. And whew,
That's how you preserve your voice.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I just drink lots of tea, dude. And I have like with screaming techniques, you just make sure you're not putting too much strain in your voice. So I rarely blow my voice out. There was only a few shows instances where I remember like walking out of the booth saying, "Oh, I messed up." Like, I got COVID once. Like, was it last Thanksgiving or the Thanksgiving before that? I want to say last Thanksgiving, and I had to record a video game like while I had COVID.
Oh,
so
God.
I was at home recording the game, and every time we finished a take, I would drop my gain down to 0 so the client could hear me go, and turn back on. "Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Yeah." And they're like, "Cool. So next take, we need you dying. Cool. How am I dying? You're on fire. Next take, you're being electrocuted. Next take, you're falling to your death. Next take, you're being shot." And I'm like, "Oh God."
I'm done for real though.
Yeah.
I got the dying part now. Like, trust me, I can do that.
Yeah.
Fiery death, I don't know.
It was crazy. But yeah, I do my best just to make sure I'm like performing in a way that does not mess up my voice. There are just certain things that can definitely strain you. I've been on some shows where I'm like, "Hey, we're doing a big group of army guys fighting and screaming." I have a baby boy voice. That's not my normal voice. If I gotta put on the, "All right, man, let's go," like that's not, I can't do that for 4 hours straight.
I was about to say you just did.
No. Not 4 hours straight all the time. So I walk out of the booth being like, "Phew, I'm gonna shut up for the rest of the day." You know.
Yeah. So I saw that you were in Pokemon. Yeah. So 1, tell us about your character, and 2, you gotta tell us who your favorite Pokemon is.
Oh, my favorite Pokemon. All right, so starting with the first one. So yeah, I play the Team Aqua Grunts in Pokemon Masters EX, the mobile gacha game there. So I was real happy for that one because Team Aqua is my favorite team in Pokemon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I main water types in Pokemon. So getting to play the evil team that mains the water types was like so happy. I got the addition, and I'm like, please, 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 please. And then I ended up booking it. I was so happy. It was, I don't know, I was starstruck recording that session. I was real hyped for it.
Yeah.
And that was like during when I was doing Girlfriend. So it was like a whole day of me doing like Girlfriend, me recording like audiobooks, and me going to Pokemon. My voice was so tired.
Damn.
But
still doing it.
Yeah,
What kind of tea do you drink? You got senzu beans in there?
Oh,
or something?
yeah.
Senzu beans, man. Jeez.
It was a good time. Tiring time, but a good time.
Yeah.
And I'd say my favorite Pokemon, hands down, is Empoleon. That's my boy.
Okay.
That's
You're not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
Man, I've noticed you at the beginning when you was talking, you kept saying, I train. Man, what made where did you get that drive from? Like to train and always be a step ahead or always like learn something new? Where'd you get that from?
I got a one-track mind, dude. Like, when I like something, when I want something bad, all I can think about is making that thing happen.
Singular focus.
Yeah, singular focus. So I decided, hey, I wanted to, like, from Florida, I wanted to go to Texas, be an anime. I thought, okay, what training do I need? Before I left college, I took stage acting classes. I took voice for the stage classes. I took private coaching with a bunch of different professionals who I looked up to in the industry.
Right.
I decided to learn from the people that were doing the thing I wanted to do so I can figure out what's the best way to do it. And like during one of the workshops I took, I literally went up to one of the directors there and I'm like, hey, you said you really like my voice, said I have that, protagonist voice, whatnot. And I'm like, I hear this a lot, but like, what do I gotta do to actually get my name on the table over at Funimation? And he looked at me, he laughed a little bit, and he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll look forward to working with you soon. And I'm like, he's just saying that. Whatever. I'll go back to the drawing board. And then a couple weeks later, I got an email from him like, hey, can you come in for a couple hours to record some extras in our show? And I'm like, oh my God, he wasn't joking.
I feel you on that. Like, I ain't just yanking my chain. What else, man?
I did a lot. Like, I was lucky because my mom works at an airline. So when I was younger, I had the privilege of being able to hitch rides on planes for free.
Oh, man.
So
that's what's up.
I went to Texas many times, flew in for like different classes, for different ADR classes. So people would be sitting in the class and be like, yeah, I drove an hour up from like, Waco to get here. Oh yeah, I drove 4 hours from Houston. I'm like, I flew in from Miami this morning. They're like, what? And I had my part-time job at the time, so I'd be like working from like 9 a.m. to like 4 or something, and then going straight to the airport, flying over, doing the class, and then flying back to Miami the next morning to work a night shift at the job. And I did that for like 4 weeks straight for classes. Sometimes I fly to New York and just crash with like grandparents or family in there.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah,
This is crazy.
Fly to New York, do other classes with other people.
Hardest working man in anime. What the hell?
There was a few times where I had a friend who would be online and was like, hey, I hear in Chicago they're doing some kind of competition at a convention. Like, if you win, you get to fly to LA and be in a show. And I'm like, really? Where? This place in Chicago, this con. I'm like, okay, when is it happening? Tomorrow morning. I'm like, cool, I'll be there. Like, what? Goodbye. And I would call my mom, mother, I need a flight to Chicago tomorrow morning, right now. Thanks, goodbye.
Please and thank you. Right.
Father, I'm not coming home tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday. And he's like, what? Goodbye. And I'll just be like, shit, I got a job. What do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? And so I'm like, I don't have my boss's number. I don't know how to kind of call out from home. So I'm like, wait, now one of my classmates in college just got hired at my job. Perfect. Text her and be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Next time you go into work, tell my boss I'm gonna be gone for a couple days. Just walk over to this person right here and bet
Holy moly.
I'll owe you food later or something. Goodbye. And I just, did it.
Dang.
That's how you chase
Flew
your dreams
over.
right there.
Yeah.
That's all we hearing is you just,
Yeah.
Oh.
you
I
chasing
did
it, bro.
Did competitions in Chicago, San Antonio. I went like all over the place, and I'm a very introverted person. So me doing this was me going out of my shell really hard. I had to like steel myself. Yeah, it was super nerve wracking, but I really wanted to do it, so I pushed my own limits.
What did you tell yourself to get out of your shell to do that? Because people like if you're an introvert and you seem very just like out.
You out.
So how'd you break out of that to do this?
Listen, this is just me like I don't want to say putting on a front, but this is me just expressing what I like to do, what I like. But in reality, I'm a super reserved person for the most part. When I get comfy is when I get more like this all the time. But yeah, I'll be like on the planes and also I'm afraid of heights, so I mean, I don't love flying on planes all the time, too. So it was nerve-wracking going on the planes, going like, okay, I'm going to go perform on a stage in front of like a bunch of people I don't know, and like, you know, hopefully I don't suck acting and be good enough to actually get called in. And I would just put on my music, listen to some of my favorite artists, and just use that as my rock to keep me going throughout the whole times. And I went to some of those competitions. I never won any of them, but every time I went, I made it to the final round when I went to Chicago for one of them.
You top tier still. That's what you tell me.
That's good.
He told us you top tier.
I did my best.
When your best is top tier though. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm like, damn, like I was always in the finals. I ain't win, but I was in the finals. So I'm up there. So what you prefer to do more voice acting wise? Video games? I always ask this question, right? Mm-hmm. Video games or anime?
What do I prefer? That's kind of hard because they're so different. I guess just because I'm more used to it and I've found so many ways to have fun with it, I'd say anime, because some of the most fun acting moments I can ever remember have come from anime. So I'd say anime, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which hey, it's most of the work I do, so it works out pretty well.
Man, you're directing and you go to another room and do another job.
Yeah.
So you're just doing it, man.
Oh yeah, I've had so much fun directing, so much fun acting, and just the overlap. It just makes me a better actor when I get to direct, so I get to learn from other people, so it's great.
Yeah, so I know we're talking about your career and how awesome it is, and you're the hardest working man in the anime business, but you were talking about when you're on the airplane, you're listening to music to like hype you up. Like, who are the artists you go to put you in that zone?
I mean, my tastes are just like unorthodox. My Spotify playlist is just like the most whiplash you'll ever get.
Relate. That's why that's why I want to know.
That guy's a connoisseur of music over there.
I will say, like, there's this one artist that I listen to a lot, and also I kind of credit part of where I got to today because of this artist. His name is Shofu. He's a artist who I found because he did a lot of raps online, and the funny part is playing his music in my car as people come in and goes, dang, I didn't know Kevin listened to rap like this, but then listen to the lyrics and like, wait a second, this man's rapping about Pokemon. What's going on here? So he is an artist that he's like a Twitch streamer too that I really liked. I was in like Discord communities and servers and all that, and I was talking about like, yeah, I'm trying to move to Texas at some point, try to get to be a voice actor, get to be an animator and whatnot. And one of the dudes in that server, I did the thing that you're not supposed to do on the internet, but one of the dudes is like, oh well, I live in Texas, around where you're trying to be right now. Here's what you can do. If you need a job, you can apply at my job, and if you get hired, I'll let you crash on my couch for 3 months so you can save up your money, and that way you can get your own place. You got your foot starting door. And I'm like, against my better judgment, take you up on that offer. So I flew into Texas, applied for his job, got the job, and then me and my dad and cousin drove across the country. Here I crashed on his couch. I'm not a freeloader, so I paid half his rent while I was here for the 3 months. And then as I was about to leave, he's like, hey, I know you do. I'm like, hey, I already got a new apartment scheduled. Like, I'm gonna sign the paperwork soon. I'll be out of your hair real soon. 3 months are almost done. And he's like, whoa, I kind of like you paying half my rent. Why don't we just upgrade to 2-bedroom and keep this going? And I'm like, sure. And ended up living with that guy for like a couple years. Yeah.
That's good. I'm happy you didn't end up in a box chopped up somewhere. I'm happy that worked out.
Don't look at man. Good karma against all that, right?
Listen, my dad was the same way. My dad's a homicide detective, so he's like, I'm gonna drive with you when I go, just in case. I gotta check this guy out before I leave you here in Texas.
Oh my God, that was too funny.
Yeah,
that is too funny.
What part of Texas you say? It's not vital, right?
Exactly.
Man.
I heard you say you were talking about you love the Fate series.
Oh yeah.
What's some of your other favorite animes that you like to watch?
Dang, favorite anime. Obviously, we know Blue Lock is one of them. Sports wise.
Of course.
Yeah. Love the Fate series is up there. I like the Monogatari series a lot because it's super duper psychological, but it's like top tier anime where it's like, unless you watch a lot of anime, you're not gonna be able to follow anything going on in this show. There's just too much going on, too much talking. Yeah. So, man, it's like it's almost like I like so many shows that you gotta be more specific. I gotta hit genres for me to say, because I can't just list off All shows, because there's so many.
What's your favorite genre to watch?
My favorite genre is probably gonna be like shonen, shonen fights.
Okay,
shonen fights and
well, let's
comedy
land
and all
there.
that.
What's some of your favorite shonen ones?
Hunter x Hunter is super duper fire. One that's just blind stupid fighting that I love that's super recent is Ragna Crimson is a new show. I really love that
Jay
one.
Kelly.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. She worked with Ragnar,
Yeah, that show's super fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, what was the first anime that got you into anime?
Ooh, first anime that got me in. I mean, I watched Toonami, so I watched the Bebops, the Gundams. I was a little young to retain a whole lot of stuff. Couldn't follow like Inuyasha or all that when I was that young. So I watched some of it, but I can't remember everything going on. So I say Bebop probably was the most in my head. And obviously the Dragon Balls, watched a butt ton of Digimon, all that. I love Digimon so much.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I bet. So your favorite's Agumon?
Nah. I'm real, dude. I played the TCG and stuff like that. I played a lot of stuff. So, like, if we're talking about Digimon that were in the show particularly,
Well, you say you watched it.
Then I'd probably say Guilmon line's probably probably up there in terms of the top. But my favorite Digimon is like the Blucomon line with like Hexablouse, like all that, which is like a newer Digimon.
I'm out your league on that one.
Yeah.
I'm like more of a Pokemon getting out your
Nah.
So what you prefer, Pokemon or Digimon? Sound like Digimon. You play Pokemon.
I play Pokemon religiously for a very long time. So it's only like in the last 5 years or so that I haven't been as onto Pokemon. So I'd say I probably still like Digimon a little bit because the Digimon animes, these first 5 seasons are peak fiction, especially those English dubs, peak fiction.
Oh, that was good,
Yeah, and like the games, like there's a lot of Digimon games that don't exactly hit, but some of them are really good, especially like Digimon Cyber Sleuth is the best Digimon and Pokemon game in my opinion at the same time.
Yes, Cyber Sleuth is really good.
Love Cyber Sleuth. Man, Cyber Sleuth is good. Yeah, dude.
Man, this has been fun. You are a ball of energy, sir.
Yeah, you are. On a Sunday, and you gotta drive home.
Hey, I need the energy, man.
This is a good thing.
Keeps me going.
Yeah, man. So tell the people where they can find you.
You can follow my stuff. I got a website, KevinDThelwell.com, but easier to see me posting on Twitter at Kevin D Thelwell, Instagram, same thing at Kevin D Thelwell, and that's where you can usually see me announce stuff that I'm in, stuff that I help direct, stuff that I act in. I recently announced that I'm playing one of the newer characters at the end of the season of Windbreakers.
Oh, nice.
So season 2 is coming out next year, so you'll see more of me acting in that. We dug that.
Next year. Y'all wrong for that. That so good. Like, well, see you next year.
Yeah.
No, it'd be like that,
Yeah.
Shoot.
And you can find us, the Fusion High Podcast. You can catch us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, X if you're nasty. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, it's been dope, like he said, and I enjoyed it and wish we could do more, but I know it's Sunday. We got something to do. Hurricanes coming, guys. Sorry.
In your words, just a hurricane coming through, and it's not
Shane Hill.
Yes, not him.
Not him.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm Chad.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is say
Kevin D Thelwell.
There you go.
This is the Fusion High Podcast, and we're out this thing.